exam beta.
Nice.
There was one question for the deletion beta.
Nice, sir.
One angular velocity question I have not done because that needs the concept of rotational mechanics. So one question is deleted in that one. So we'll be getting one added mark for that one. Basically. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sure. So let's try to start with the next topic beta. In a thermal expansion, the last topic is expansion of your gases. After completing this one, we'll go for the numericals of expansion of liquids part. And next Sunday, we'll be writing the examination both on the solids and as well as of the liquids beta. Okay. So next exam is on Sunday. Again, the topic from the physics will be both solids and as well as of your gases. Solids will be 40% and 60% will be the liquids. Okay, na?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'll try to complete the expansion of gases by Thursday. Friday and Saturday, we'll go for the numericals on your expansion of your liquids. Okay,
Okay, sir.
chalo. Let's try to start with the next topic and the last topic of expansions, better thermal expansions, that is expansions of your gases. See here, whenever a gas is being heated, we know that there will be the change in both pressure and as well as of your volume. So first point I'm writing here, when a gas is heated, both pressure and volume changes. Clear, beta? When a gas is heated, both pressure and volume will be changes. So basing upon that, we have two coefficients, beta. The first one is known as of your volume coefficient. First one is known as of what? Volume coefficient, and it is represented by letter alpha. Here alpha is not equal to, this alpha is not equal to beta, what do you call that one? Coefficient of linear expansion. But this one is right now for you, the volume coefficient. Clear for everyone? Okay. So what is this volume coefficient part of relation? So let us try to talk about your volume coefficient. Volume coefficient is represented by alpha. Don't try to compare this alpha with the coefficient of linear expansion. In the gases, alpha is called as of your volume coefficient, that is represented by alpha, where alpha is equal to your volume at T degree centigrade minus volume at 0 degree centigrade by volume at your 0 degree centigrade into your T. Keeping the mass and pressure constant, M and P are constant. What are remaining constant for me? Alpha is equals to, if I'm taking this relation right now, alpha is equals to your change in volume by original volume into your V naught into your T part of relation. Is it clear for everyone, beta? So what is the volume coefficient? Keeping the mass of the gas to be your constant, keeping the mass and the pressure of the gas to be a constant, alpha is equals to your V final minus V initial, Vf minus or Vt is minus V naught divided by volume at 0 degree centigrade into your T part of relation. Is it clear for everyone? I can still simplify this one as Vt minus of your V naught is equals to V naught alpha into your T. Can I write like that? So from this one, volume at your T degree centigrade is equals to V naught. It will go here right now. So this will be your V naught into alpha into T. That means volume at your T degree centigrade is equals to V naught. I can take common into 1 plus alpha into your T part of relation. Clear? Isn't it? So from this one, if I'm writing for the two different conditions right now, so this is your basic formula which you need to remember for the given condition. Vt is equals to your V naught plus V naught into alpha into T. Simplifying that one, we are getting the relation for this one as of your Vt is equals to your V naught into 1 plus of your Vt is equals to V naught into 1 plus alpha into T part of relation. Is it clear for everyone, beta? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I'm taking this one for two different temperatures beta, so it
Yes,
is
sir.
Vt and as well as of your V naught part of relation. So if I'm talking about your V1 divided by your V2, V1 by your V2 is equals to, this will become for me V naught into, this will become for me 1 plus alpha into T1 divided by, this one will become for me V naught into 1 plus alpha into your T2. In this one, this V naught get cancelled. Simplifying it, we are getting V1 by your V2 is equals to 1 plus alpha into T1 divided by 1 plus alpha into your T2 part of relation. So this is the relation which you need to remember for the given condition. V1 by your V2 is equals to your V1 by V2 is equals to 1 plus alpha into T1 divided by 1 plus alpha into your T2 part of relation. Is that point clear? So what is the condition I'm telling you better right now? Whenever a gas is being heated, there will be the change both in pressure and as well as of your volume. Both pressure and volume will be changing. If I'm keeping the given condition right now, so what is the relation right now? Keeping the mass and pressure to be constant. Keeping the mass and pressure to be the constant. Volume coefficient is represented by alpha is equals to your change in volume by original volume into T. Change in volume taken as of your volume at T degrees centigrade minus V naught divided by your alpha into your T naught part of relation. So still further simplifying it, we are getting Vt minus V naught is equals to V naught into alpha into T divided by Vt is equals to V naught plus V naught into alpha T. So just simplification, we are getting volume at T degrees centigrade is equals to V naught into 1 plus alpha into T. And if I am taking the ratio of that one, V1 by your V2 is equals to 1 plus alpha into T1 divided by 1 plus alpha into your T2 part of relation. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so that is about your volume coefficient. That is about your volume coefficient part of relation. Now let us try to go for the next one right now. That is nothing but of your B. Number B. So now this one is pressure coefficient. Pressure coefficient. Pressure coefficient. Represented by letter beta. Represented by letter beta. Okay. So this one is your pressure coefficient. Okay. Now see. Here again, don't make yourself confused with the beta as of your coefficient of areal expansion part of relation. In expansion of gases, beta is represented by the pressure coefficient. So pressure coefficient is given by the formula beta is equals to same like previous, pressure at T degree centigrade minus pressure at 0 degree centigrade divided by your pressure at 0 degree centigrade into your T. Keeping what constant beta? Mass and volume are kept as of your constant. Mass and volume are taken as of your constant part of relation. So if I'm keeping the pressure coefficient right now, so pressure coefficient beta is equals to pressure coefficient beta is nothing but of your Pt minus P naught by divided by your P naught into your T part of relation. So this is about your beta. Keeping mass and volume to be constant. Keeping the mass and volume to be the constant part of relation. The same way, if I simplify this one, pressure at a T degree centigrade minus of your P naught is equals to P naught into beta into your T. If I take minus P naught on other side, this will become for me Pt is equals to your P naught plus of your, this one is P naught into beta into T. That means if I'm taking P naught to be the constant, this will be 1 plus beta into your T. This one is of your pressure at your T degree centigrade. Okay, so that is about your pressure at your T degree centigrade. Pressure at your T degree centigrade is used by the formula P naught is equals to Pt is equals to your P naught into 1 plus beta into your T part of relation. Same like of your previous case only, but exactly like of your previous case. So if I'm talking about for two different pressures, so that is nothing but of your P1 divided by your P2. That will be equal to your P naught anyhow will get cancelled. I'm writing this one directly 1 plus beta into a temperature T1 divided by 1 plus beta into a temperature of your T2 part of relation. So these are the relations you need to remember for the given conditions part of relation. So ratio of your P1 by your P2 is equals to your 1 plus beta into T1 divided by 1 plus beta into your T2 part of relation. Is that conditions clear? So what is the condition we got right now beta in the thermal expansions of your gases? When a gas is being heated, there will be change both in pressure and as well as of your volume. So we define two coefficients that are known as volume coefficient and pressure coefficients part of relation. Volume coefficient is represented by alpha. Alpha is equals to Vt minus V naught divided by V naught into your T part of relation. Okay. The same way pressure coefficient is represented by beta. So beta will be equal to, or how much for me? Beta is equals to Pt minus P naught divided by P naught into T, keeping the mass and volume to be constant. Simplifying it further, we are getting P at T degree centigrade is equals to P naught into 1 plus beta into T. So if I take the ratio of that one, P1 by P2 is equals to 1 plus beta into T1 divided by 1 plus beta into T2 part of a relation. Is that clear for everyone, beta? Two coefficients are clear for everyone. One is about your volume coefficient, another one is known as about your pressure coefficient part of relation. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let me take the screenshot of this one. Next one is about your graphs. Graphs of your alpha and as well as of your beta. That is nothing but of your first graph we are talking about is right now. First one is VT graph. VT graph. Now see here. V at T degree centigrade, how much I got, beta? V at your T degree centigrade. Vt is equals to your V naught into 1 plus alpha into your T. Comparing this one with the straight line equation. Comparing with the straight line equation, y is equals to your mx plus of your c part deflation will get a straight line, but not passing from your origin. That means if I simplify this one further, I'll be writing this one as of your V at T degree centigrade is equals to V naught plus, this one is V naught into alpha into T. Antena? So if I'm comparing with your y is equals to some constant c plus of your m into your x, isn't it? So in the place of your x, we should write the t, and in the place of your y-axis, we should take a graph of your vt. That means if I'm taking a graph of this one right now, okay. So on x-axis, what I should be taking better right now? On x-axis, I'll be taking right now on this one and on this one. So this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. Now see on the x-axis, what I should take better? Can anyone tell me? On x-axis, I should be taking as of your temperature, that is nothing but of your T. On an y-axis, we'll be taking as of your volume at your T degree centigrade. Volume at your T degree centigrade. And in the place of your constant, I'm having a V naught. That means we should be taking a constant somewhere here. This constant from here to here, this will represent me your V naught. That means we'll be getting a straight line which will be passing from your origin. That means this will be a graph which will be going like this. And here this will be making a slope right now. This one will be the theta. If I extend this one in the backward direction, it is meeting somewhere at your negative temperature. That negative temperature at which, see, what is happening to the volume? Volume is becoming for me 0. Volume is becoming 0. It is at an experimental temperature, that is nothing but T is equals to your minus of 273.15 degrees centigrade. Also, I can take right now at velocity, volume at T degree centigrade is becoming for me how much? 0. At what temperature? Minus 273.15 degrees centigrade. The volume at your T degree centigrade, is becoming for me 0. Is this graph clear for everyone? See, what I'm doing is I'm comparing with Vt is equals to V naught into V naught plus V naught into alpha into T with a straight line equation. What is straight line equation? Y is equals to some constant C plus M into X. On the x-axis, what we are having right now, on x-axis, we are having the T. On y-axis, we are having the volume. So I have taken on y-axis Vt and on x-axis the temperature. So when I try to draw the graph, I know that I got some constant. So I'm taking that constant with the green pen, that is nothing but V naught. And then I'm drawing a graph. So that graph is a straight line with an orange line making an angle theta, but the volume is not becoming zero. For this V naught to make zero, if I extend the graph in the backward direction with a dotted line, I've been found that somewhere at a certain temperature, the volume is completely becoming zero. That temperature is taken as of your minus of 273.15 degree centigrade. Is that condition clear for everyone? So if I'm taking that one into the consideration right now, see, volume at your T degree centigrade is equals to your, this one is nothing but how much for me? V naught into your, or V naught into your, whatever the given condition we can write here right now. V naught into, this one is nothing but of your 1 plus alpha into your T part definition. V at T, how much it is becoming for me? 0. So if this will become 0, that is nothing but of your V naught plus, this one is V naught into alpha into your T. Can I write like that one better? Now see, if I'm simplifying this one right now, what is the temperature I'm getting right now? What is the temperature it will be becoming 0 I got? So that will be equal to your V naught plus of your V naught into alpha. Temperature, how much we got? Minus of 273.15. For the calculation purpose, you can take minus 273 beta. That is also, that doesn't make much difference right now there. So this is minus and minus. So if I can write here right now, this V naught will be equal to V naught into alpha into 273 point of your 15, isn't it? So this V naught will get cancelled. So if I'm getting the value of an alpha from this one, so alpha comes out to be how much for me? 1 by 273.15 per degree centigrade. So this will be the value of your alpha. So this will be the value of your alpha, which you need to remember. Very important beta. Even for your board examination, he may ask you for the 2 marks. In the volume coefficient, what is the value of your alpha? What is the value of your alpha part of relation? So please go through the graph of your VT once again, beta. If you are having any doubt, you please let me know in that one. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
So can we draw in the same way the PT graph?
Yes, sir.
Ardhamatunda, you are still getting any confusion, you let me know, I'll help you out. I hope everyone knows this straight line equation na beta. Y is equals to mx plus c. Maths lo ochintadi మీకు straight line equations. 10th class lo unda straight line?
Now we got, sir.
Mathematics you got some knowledge, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any of our BTC students, you remember beta, for a straight line, whenever you draw a graph right now, say I'm drawing roughly here right now, if y is equals to m into your x, m is known as slope beta, that graph will always pass from the origin like this. This is y-axis, this is your x-axis, and this is nothing but theta, that is nothing but of your tan theta, that will be equal to your slope, that is nothing but of your m. If I'm using the equation, y is equals to mx plus of your c. C is your constant beta, so we always get a graph like this. So this will represents for me constant. This is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. Okay, so this is for your rough understanding. I have just given it. We can do it even later while we do again the graphs in your mechanics part of relation. Clear for everyone? So let us try to go for the next one beta. That is about your, what graph we have done right now? VT graph. Let us try to go for the next one. That is nothing but of your PT graph. Okay, let us try to talk about your PT graph. So in PT graph, what I told you to be constant, mass and volume are taken as of your constant. Mass and volume are taken as of your constant. So again, if I draw a graph for this one into the consideration, okay, so this is a graph, this is a 0, and this one is your x-axis, and this one is your y-axis. Okay, now see, if I'm writing the equation right now for again the pressure, now tell me what is an equation of a pressure beta? Pressure equation ento vachindi manaku. Pressure equation is equals to how much for me? Pressure at your T degrees equals to how much beta?
Pressure at 0 degrees into
plus, yeah, P naught into beta into T.
T.
Okay, na?
Yes.
So now in this one, if I draw a straight line graph right now, so the constant is how much beta for me? P naught is a constant. That means I'll be getting somewhere here as of your constant. This constant, I'm taking it as of your P naught. Then the graph will be a straight line passing like this. And if I'm drawing this one like this will make an angle theta. This theta is nothing but of your slope represented by M, that is represented by tan theta. So if I extend this graph in the backward direction right now, it is meeting somewhere here right now, such that the pressure on the y-axis, what I need to take beta? On y-axis, I'll be taking the PT. On x-axis, I'll be taking right now for me what right now? Temperature. That is nothing but of your T degrees centigrade as of a temperature. Because I'm comparing with y is equals to some constant plus M into your x. So in the place of x, I need to take temperature. In the place of y, I need to take the pressure. So this is the point at which the pressure is becoming for me zero. Pressure is becoming for me zero. What is that temperature is taken again for me? The temperature is always for me negative. That is minus of 273.15 degree centigrade. Okay. Now, if I'm simplifying this relation right now, see here what I can write from this one. So P at T is equals to how much for me? 0. That is equals to your P naught plus this one is nothing but of your P naught beta. Temperature is minus of 273.15. So if I simplify this one, minus plus minus, it will become right now here. P naught is equals to, this one is a P naught into beta into this one is 273.15. This P naught again gets cancelled. So from this one, I am getting beta value is equal to how much for me? 1 by 273.15 per degree centigrade. Now you see this one carefully beta. If you see this one carefully, whatever the previous value I got right now, is it not exactly similar to that value which I have been got? Okay, so what is the value of a beta I got beta previously? Previously, I got alpha is equal to 1 by 273.15 and I got here beta value is also equal to how much for me? 1 by 273.15 part of relation. That means I can make one simple point right now from this one that or for all gases, beta is equals to your alpha, that is equals to how much for me? 1 by 273.15 per degree centigrade, So this is the point you need to remember. For all gases, beta and alpha value is equals to your how much for me? 1 by 273.15 degrees centigrade. So see the graph once again for the PT graph beta. If you have any doubt in this graph, you please let me know how I'm trying to draw the graph part of relation. I told you that if the graph is from the straight line, if it is passing from origin, means the equation should be equal to how much for me? Y is equal to mx. If it is y is equal to mx plus c, that means it will be a straight line, no doubt, but it will not pass from the origin. So that is the reason we got PT graph also like PT is equals to P naught plus P naught beta into T. Comparing with y is equals to c plus m into your x part, PT is becoming for me 0 at what temperature? Minus 273.15. If you ask me why sir minus means, see here x-axis is in terms of negative. So they did the experiment and they got somewhere at a temperature of minus 273.5. Y-axis is becoming for me 0. So this is right now for me pressure at your T degree centigrade. Pressure at your T degree centigrade part of relation. Clear for everyone? Okay. So I hope you are clear with this one, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let us try to go for the next one. That is about your absolute zero. Okay. Next one is about
Sir.
yes, beta.
So why are you giving all this again, sir?
I have done this one.
Yes, sir.
Expansion of gases I did.
Yes, sir. Till absolute zero, you have done, sir.
Alpha beta also I did.
Yes, sir.
Then you should have been told me now.
Now only I saw, sir.
Okay, chalo. Even I did this absolute zero, everyone.
Yes, sir. You did absolute zero.
You have the notes with that one.
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Can I skip this topic then? Have I did the real gas and ideal gases beta?
No, sir.
Okay. Chalo. Can I skip? Okay, I'll write roughly the point beta faster. The one who has been not listened, they can listen it. Can anyone define me what is an absolute zero beta right now? The temperature,
at which pressure or volume of gas
at which pressure
or volume of gas
or volume of a gas,
becomes zero
becomes zero
is called absolute zero.
is called absolute zero or
Its
absolute temperature.
its
Its value is,
value
yeah,
minus
its value
273.15
is
degrees
minus
Celsius,
273.15 degrees centigrade or
0 Kelvin.
0 Kelvin. Isn't it? Still, any other points I've given?
Yes, sir. At absolute zero, pressure into volume
Volume
equal
is
to
zero. Yeah. Kinetic energy of the
kinetic.
molecules will
See,
ceases.
that
Radiation
is
stops. Yeah.
kinetic energy equal to zero.
Yeah. Then radiation stops and matter also disappears. I hope this all I have been told you already.
Yes, sir.
Chalo, let us try to go for the next one. Make a column of your real gases and as well as of your let me talk about this one. Yeah. Take a column and write in the first site heading as of your real gases and another column as of your ideal gas. Okay. So first point in ideal gas beta. Intermolecular force of attractions are present in the ideal real gases. You might have been come across in the chemistry beta. In chemistry, we talk about whenever I'm using a word real gases, I always mean to say that one rare. The intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces or intermolecular force of attractions are present. That means if I'm taking two different molecules, like this is one molecule, this is one molecule, this is one molecule, and this is small molecule, there is a force existing between them. This is one force existing on this one, and this is another force which has been existing between them. That force is called as of your intermolecular forces. That forces are called as of what for me? Intermolecular forces. So in the real gases, intermolecular forces are always been present. The first point clear right now? In the ideal gas right now, opposite of that one. Intermolecular forces of attraction are zero, I can say, or absent, I can say in this one. So in this one, intermolecular force of attraction is zero. So they are called as of what? Perfect gas. They are called as of your perfect gas. In universe, we don't have such type of gases, but we make an assumption that if we call something as of your perfect, what should be the condition? Intermolecular force of attraction between them must be equal to zero. So if I take one molecule here, one molecule here, one molecule here, so force between them is right now how much for me? Zero. Force between them is becoming zero. That are the 2 points you get the difference between the real gas and ideal gas. Real gas is nothing but the gas in which intermolecular force of attractions are present, and real gas is nothing but the point in which the intermolecular forces are absent. The same way, second point, if I am writing right now here, potential energy of your gas will be sum of your potential energy plus of your kinetic energy. U of gas is nothing but was total energy of the gas, but total internal energy of the gas is equals to potential energy of the gas plus internal kinetic energy of the gas. U is known as of your what? Internal energy. U is known as of what? Internal energy. So U of gas means total internal energy of the gas is always equals to sum of your potential energy plus of your kinetic energy. That means we have the potential energy and we also have the kinetic energy, because between the two molecules there is a certain separation and force has been present in that one. The same way, if I'm writing the second point in this one, internal energy of your ideal gas, is equals to only because of the kinetic, but in potential energy is becoming for me zero. Why it is becoming zero, beta? Because there is no force existing between the two molecules. So internal energy or potential internal energy will become for me zero for the perfect gases. The same way, Third point you write here, these molecules are of finite size. Finite size. That means you can calculate the size of these molecules, real gases, part of relations from taking. The same way, if I'm talking about your perfect gases right now, in this one, molecules are of point sized. Point sized means almost all negligible part of relation. So these are the three different points you need to remember in this one. And one more point in this one right now, point number 4. All gases you can write, all gases are real gases. Whatever you study in the chemistry, all the gases will be the real gases. So we don't have perfect gases, so no perfect gas. There is no perfect ideal gas, you can write here. No perfect ideal gas, but helium and hydrogen are nearly ideal gases, beta. Are nearly ideal gases. Nearly ideal gases, but not perfectly ideal gases. So these are the 4 points. Even for your board examination, he may ask you differentiate between the ideal gas and as well as of your what do you call that one, real gases. Real gases means the gases in which intermolecular forces of the attractions have been present. Ideal gases, intermolecular force of attractions is 0. So force between them is 0. Kabatti potential energy is also 0. Second point in the real gas is the total internal energy of the real gas is always equals to your potential energy plus kinetic energy, whereas internal energy of the ideal gas is nothing but only due to the kinetic energy, whereas potential energy will become for me 0. Third point in this one are molecules are of finite size. That means you can calculate the size and volume of the gases for the real gases, whereas for the ideal gases, molecules are of your point size. And the fourth point, if I'm writing in the real gases, all the gases whichever you see, they are almost all like a real gas. And in the universe, we don't have any perfect ideal gas, but for an assumptions part of relation, we try to take the helium and hydrogen as nearly ideal gases part of relation. Clear for everyone? Is that point clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Next heading you'll keep right now here. That is about your gas laws. Okay. The first one is known as of your Boyle's law. Okay. I hope anyone have been remembered the Boyle's law in 10th class or somewhere you might have been come across. Can anyone define me a Boyle's law, beta? No one? Think. రాలేదా మీకు ఎప్పుడు?
sir.
నో. కెమిస్ట్రీలో వచ్చి ఉండాలి కదా. చలో. Now see here. What does the Boyle's law says that at a given temperature, that means when the temperature of a gas is constant, at what temperature? I'm keeping in the Boyle's law temperature to be the constant. He did the experiment with the gas and found that pressure of any given mass of a gas is always inversely proportional to the volume. Pressure is always inversely proportional to the volume. We'll get the proof of this one in the next chapter, that is called as of a kinetic theory of a gases. But right now, you just write the statement right now here. If I'm writing the statement, at a given temperature, at a given temperature, the pressure of a given mass of gas is inversely proportional to its volume. Inversely proportional to its volume part of relation. Is the statement clear for everyone, beta? What does the Boyle has been told that whenever you are heating any gas, keeping the temperature to be the constant, get a given temperature means I'm keeping the temperature to be the constant part of relation. The pressure of the given mass of your gas is directly proportional to its volume, sorry, inversely proportional to its volume part of relation. That means if I write it mathematically, pressure is inversely proportional to volume, isn't it? Keeping mass and temperature is equals to constant. Mass and temperature to be constant part of relation. That means I can write this one as PV is equals to your constant. PV is equals to constant. So if I'm talking about two different gases, then I can write this one as of your P1 V1 is equals to your P2 into your V2. Okay. So now Boyle's law depends upon what, beta? So this constant depends on mass and temperature, because M and T are constant kada. So PV is equal to constant, and this constants will depend upon what? Mass and temperature part of relation. So what is the relation I got right now? P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. What is P1 and what is V1, beta? P1 is pressure and V1 is nothing but volume. If volume is not given, you know that volume can also be written as, beta, as volume is equals to area into length. Can I write like this mathematically? So V is equals to A into ln petkocha. Can I write like that one, beta?
Yes, sir.
So if I'm writing here, P1 A1 L1 is equals to P2 A2 L2. Can I write like this?
Yes, sir.
So if area of cross section is same, if A1 is equals to A2 is equals to A, suppose, isn't it? Now I can write the same equation by the relation P1 L1 is equals to your P2 L2. In terms of length, if he's asking, I can even write the relation as P1 L1 is equals to your P2 into your L2 part of relation. Now tell me, what is the size, or what will be the shape of the molecules, beta, gas molecules? Can anyone tell me what will be the shape of the gas molecules? Gas molecules ela untayi nanna?
Sphere.
Obviously, see, for example, if you might have been using any deodorants of yourself, when you spray it, the liquid which has been coming out is always, you see, in which form? They are in the spherical form. So
Yes,
shape
sir.
of your molecules, shape of the molecules is spherical. Can I write like this? Okay, so that will be in terms of your spherical. What happened? I don't know this one. So can I write for the sphere? Volume is equals to how much for me? Volume is equals for spherical bodies 4/3 pi into
Pi
r
r cube.
So can I write here P1 in the place of V1? This is nothing but of your V1 is equals to P2 into V2. I can write this one as P1. Volume is equals to 4/3 pi into this one is R1 cube. That is equals to your P2 into this volume will become for me 4/3 pi into your R2 cube. Can I write like this? Anything is getting cancelled in this one, beta? 4/3
4 by 3 pi.
4/3 pi will get cancelled in this one. So I'll be getting the relation P1 R1 cube is equals to P2 R2 cube. So can even write like this for the given conditions. So these are the different forms of your Boyle's law in which you can write for the given condition. Come back once again, you see. Boyle's law
Sir,
says
R,
that.
you wrote R3.
Sorry. Okay, so this one is R2. Okay. Chalo.
Yes.
Yeah. See here, beta. Gas loss part of relation, Boyle's law. What is the Boyle's law? Says that at a given temperature, the pressure of a given mass of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume. So that is the reason we are writing for this condition right now. P is inversely proportional to your volume. Keeping what constant? Mass and temperature are kept constant. So PV is equals to constant. It depends upon mass and as well as of your temperature. Now, if I'm writing for two different gases, I can write P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. Okay, well, in the problem while doing, if he has not given volume, but he has given only the length, and he told that area of cross sections is same, then I can write volume is equals to area into length, and I can write here P1 A1 L1 is equals to P2 A2 L2, and if area are same, A1 will get cancelled. So we are getting right now for this one P1 L1, this one is nothing but of your P1 L1 is equals to P2 L2. This has been asked so many times in competitive examinations, beta. So please try to write now, remember it very carefully. Pressure, if he has not given in terms of volume, you can even write in terms of length. So that value is how much for me? P1 L1 is equals to P2 L2. As the shape of the molecules are spherical, so that is the reason I'm taking the volume of the spherical bodies is equals to 4 by 3 pi r cube. So simplifying it, we are getting the relation in the place of volume 4 by 3 pi r1 cube, and P2 is equals to 4 by 3 pi into R2 cube. R2 cube. So 4 by 3 gets cancelled. So P1 R1 cube is equals to P2 into your R2 cube part of relation. Is that clear for everyone, beta?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Let us try to take the graphs of this one beta. So first one is nothing but of your in this one graphs. Graph. So the first graph what I'm drawing is right now. Pressure versus volume. Pressure versus volume. The graph is a rectangular hyperbola like this. This one is called as of what? Rectangular hyperbola, or this is also called as of your isotherm. Iso means same. It's same temperature part of relation. So what is the nature of the graph beta? So nature of graph is rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. This comes in the basic mathematics beta. When we do again mechanics, we will come across the graph. But remember that whenever we are drawing the inverse graph, always inverse graph will give me what? A rectangular hyperbola. For the MPC students, we have a complete different chapter called as hyperbola. For a very big chapter of almost like for 2 weeks, they will be teaching only the hyperbola. 2 weeks, they will be teaching the ellipse. 2 weeks, they will be teaching the rectangular hyperbolas. This is all given conditions. You have almost like 1 month study on the graph itself. So MPC students don't bother, will get an idea. But BPC students, you just remember that whenever you draw a graph between inversely proportionality, whenever you're drawing the graph between the inversely proportionality, what type of a graph will be getting beta? That graph will always be a rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola. That much part you just remember, that is more than enough for us. Okay, so that was about your first graph which you need to remember in the given condition. This is your graph number 1. Chalo. Let us try to go for the next graph in this one. So if I'm drawing a graph between, so this one is nothing but of your pressure versus your volume. So here I'm taking P versus V, and here I'm taking the volume, or I am taking the pressure. Because anyhow temperature is remaining constant right now. So we always get a constant, that is nothing but of your T. T is equals to constant. So if I'm drawing a graph between pressure, volume versus volume or pressure, that graph will always become a straight line, because P and V are always what? Constant gada. The graph if I'm drawing between P and V at a constant temperature are also called as of what? Isotherm. That means the graph should always be a constant part, because it is directly relation like PV is equals to constant. See, this is PV. On x-axis, whatever I'm taking, volume or pressure, that should also be a constant part of relation, better pressure and volume. So that should always be a straight line passing from the, parallel to your x-axis part of relation. That is the second graph we need to remember. And the third type of a graph which you need to remember in this one is nothing but of your, if I'm drawing the graph between pressure versus volume again. So this one is your pressure. And here in the place of this one, I'm taking it as of your 1 by V, or this one is in terms of your density, because density is equals to mass by volume. So density is inversely proportional to volume, keeping mass constant. So if I'm writing 1 by V, that means that is also equal to what for me? A straight line graph. So if I'm writing the graph like that, basically 1 by V is equals to how much for me? Rho. That means it will be what right now? Pressure P versus 1 by V. So what will be the graph for that one? Can anyone tell me? So that graph will be a straight line like this. Can anyone tell me why it is a straight line? Shall I help you out? Because if I'm writing like say PV is equals to constant K, isn't it? So V value I can take from this one. So from here, V is equals to, I can write 1 by rho. So it is a P by rho is equals to K. So from this one, I can write this one as of your pressure is equals to rho into K. So this one is exactly similar to Y is equals to M into X. So on x-axis, we are taking density, and slope is nothing but of your constant. Is that graph clear for everyone? So if I'm taking the graph between pressure versus density or pressure versus 1 by V, that will always be a straight line passing from the origin. Are this graph clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So that is about your Charles law. I hope you're following the class.
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Next one is Charles law. Okay. So next side heading I'm writing as your Charles law. Okay. So now what does the Charles law says right now this? So Charles law says that for me at a given temperature, I have taken black pen, yeah. At a given temperature, or sorry, at a given pressure or the volume part of relation. At a given pressure, I'll try to talk first. At a given pressure, the volume of a given mass, the volume of a given mass of a gas, is proportional to its absolute temperature. Clear for everyone? So what is the Charles law is saying right now for me? Charles law says that at a given pressure, the volume of a given mass of a gas is proportional to its absolute temperature. That means if pressure is remaining constant right now, if the pressure is remaining for me constant and given mass is also constant, volume is directly proportional to what? Temperature. So I can write that point here. Black pen. So at a given pressure means volume of a given gas is directly proportional to temperature. In the bracket, I can write here pressure and mass are constant. Clear? So what is the given condition right now, beta? Volume is directly proportional to your temperature. Okay, volume is directly proportional to your temperature part of relation. This is your point number A. Okay, in the Charles law, that is the first statement what he has given for me. In the statement, he has been telling that at a given pressure, the volume of given mass of a gas is proportional to its absolute temperature. In the same way, if volume and mass are kept constant, number B, pressure is directly proportional to temperature if volume and mass are kept constant. That is also one of the form of your Charles law you need to remember. Okay, so what is the given condition? Pressure is directly proportional to your temperature, keeping the volume and as well as of your mass of the gas to be equal to constant. This law is also called as of your Gay-Lucas law. Beta, I'll write here right off. This law is also called as of your Gay-Lucas law. Gay-Lucas law. That means if I write the statement for this one, Charles Law వస్తుంది అది బేసికల్ గా, but again the Gay-Lucas law is also one of the scientists who has given the same condition. So if I'm writing for the Gay-Lucas law, the same condition, at a given temperature, sorry, at a given volume, no, volume is remaining constant. At a given volume, the pressure of a given mass of gas is proportional to its temperature. So that is the reason we are writing P is directly proportional to your T part of relation. Now if I draw the graphs for this one, for the first one, volume versus temperature. Can anyone tell me what will be the graph? volume versus temperature, directly proportional kada, that will be a straight line. So this will be your theta, that is nothing but equal to your slope, that is represented by m, that is also taken as of your tan theta. So tan theta is equals to change in volume by change in temperature and raichu. And temperature should be taken in terms of what right now for me beta? In Kelvin, volume part of relation. I hope everyone you got this one. Why? Because V is directly proportional to T and Napru. If I remove the proportionality constant, V is equals to will get K into T, isn't it? Now compare with your y is equals to m into your x. On x-axis we take the temperature, and the slope is nothing but a few constants. On y-axis we're taking volume, and x-axis we're taking the temperature. So that is the reason that we are getting a graph which is passing from the origin. Is that graph clear for everyone? No.
Yes, sir.
Next graph, if I'm drawing it out. This is your pressure versus temperature graph. Can anyone tell me what is a pressure versus temperature graph beta again?
Straight line. Straight
That is
line.
also straight line. Very good, because P is directly proportional to T. P is equals to, if I remove the proportionality constant, I'll get some constant K into T. So if I'm comparing this standard equation with your straight line equation, that is y is equals to m into your x. On x-axis you take temperature, and y-axis you take pressure. So that I have taken right now. Again, this will be a straight line passing from origin. So this will be the slope of this one. So that will give me your tan theta. So tan theta is equals to change in pressure by change in temperature. Temperature should be taken in what beta? Kelvin. Clear for everyone? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So keep one note. Very, very important beta. You'll get the problems based on this one also. Generally theoretical questions. So be a little bit careful for this one. So right there, all real gases or real gases behaves like ideal gas at high temperature comma low pressure, and hence at high temperature and low pressure sorry, low pressure all gases obey all gas laws. So that is just temperature you need to be remembered in this one. So this is a really very important point to be remembered. What is that real point right now? All real gases behave like an ideal gas at what temperature? At your high temperature and low pressures. At your high temperature and low pressures. Clear for everyone? At high temperature and low pressures, all real gas behaves like an ideal gas, and hence at a high temperature and low pressure, all the gases will be acting as of will be obeying your gas laws. So these are the points you need to remember for your exams. Clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, sir.
So I hope, shall we stop the class today, or can we
Yes, sir.
continue it out? We'll try to stop, because again, myself also having the classes. So we'll try to go for the stopping of this class. Okay, one small point, you write it out better. One last point in this one single point. Otherwise, again, it will be a continuation part of this one. Kelvin scale is constructed. Kelvin scale is constructed based on Charles law. Based on Charles law. Just remember this point, Peter. Kelvin scale is constructed based on your Charles law part of relation. Clear? Chalo, I'm keeping the full stop for today's session of a class.
Sir, hello.
Yes, beta, yes, beta.
Sir, for exam we have solids and gases or liquids and gases.
No gases, only solids and liquids.
For
Because
exam.
already you have next Sunday, because already is, for solids you have prepared it now. You try to
Yes.
do some more good problems on that one. Because see, every time when you go on do even the previous topic, you will become more perfect and perfect. Isn't it?
Okay.
So that is the
Yes, sir.
reason I'm trying to keep the solids also some questions and only gases. Sorry, not gases, liquids.
Okay.
Liquids means coefficient of apparent expansion, real expansion, anomalous expansion. That all there is that now. Very small topic only. You have got ample of a time. I have sent you Universal Self-Scorer book. From that one, you make your theory clear and even go through my notes once again and try to do some standard problems. On Friday and Saturday, you remind me. We'll try to do the problems on liquids.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, chalo. I'm stopping this class now.
Bye, sir.
Bye, beta.
Bye, sir.